Hi. In this video, I'm going to explain to you the difference between a wooden pencil and a mechanical pencil in drawing and how I use them in my sketching and or drawing basically in pencils. Um, there is no problem with using just one of them for the entire drawing, but there is a slight advantages to using both pencil, which is something that could be said that the wooden pencil has been there and it's coming in many type of values. For example, this one 2B, it can go all the way to 10B or 12 if you want. And you can also use the side of the pencil to make bigger lines if you want. The drawback only is as you keep sharpening it, it will become smaller and smaller, and you have to buy another pencil. Or if you want to make sure to use the entire pencil, you can use an extender like this one, which is basically what applies is you will extend the usability of your pencil if you like a certain brand, for example. Now, with mechanical pencil, I would say it's always going to stay sharp. The good thing about mechanical pencil is even if you are getting an HP or 2B, the value of this mechanical pencil graphite, the lead inside is darker and usually quite smoother than an HP or a 2B if it's a wooden pencil. The downside is whenever you're going to choose a pencil, you should know the number of the millimeters of the pencil, which means 0.5 is the average standard one, and it's quite let's say quite let's say default size for any drawing. But as you using a bigger sketch or a bigger paper and you draw more and more, the line will become quite small to get the actual drawing speed you want. So you either have to use the same pencil and spend longer, or you can find a bigger mechanical pencil size that you can actually benefit from the same attribute of a mechanical lead. Um, for example, we have the 0.9. 0.9 is also pretty large mechanical pencil lead size, and this one actually compared to this one is yes quite large, and you can slightly get bigger shade if you are using it this way, which is really good. Even it's a good level to start making your sketches in the beginning, and then you can use the 0.5 for your more detailed work. But sometimes because you are also seeing the number 0.9, it could be also a little bit expensive than the 0.5 for whichever reason. And if you think the 0.9 is smaller, you can go like even a more odd size 1.3, which is quite bigger than the 0.9. I would say this one would gap the actual wooden pencil gap, if you can see it here, because it's large and also really thick, and it's good for getting a larger line with this one. But this is unusual and not common in stores. You have to search for this kind of size if you want. Usually this is a drafting size as well as for the 0.9, but that's the thing. What about the actual pencil, this one? So while this is really good, and sometimes you can find brands that are really high quality, really good smooth and good flow on the paper, sometimes those are expensive. Basically this is the Tombow Mono, and this one is Mitsubishi. Those are really good quality Japanese pencils. They write quite good. They draw and make smooth lines. Even for a 6B, you can get really good values of range, like almost HB all the way to whatever the number is written on it. But the Tombow and the Uni is quite expensive per pencil. You need to find a good value. You need to search for this one, and once you get it, you have to make sure you get most of it out of this one. But how can I justify the pricing for this one? Are much more cheaper alternative but with good quality for these pencils, for example, because I want good quality for my drawing? Yes and no. Let me explain it to you. Now, Mitsubishi themselves, they make these lead holder or clutch pencils. These are basically the same size of lead inside this pencil, but it's empty without the wooden. So this kind of the pencils are really good. The standard one or most used is this kind, Stedler as well. I've been using it for my first sketches back in the days, but this one is how it looks like. So those work by clicking until you can tilt it and the lead will be out. Now, with this amount of lead, you can you can safely ensure that you can make bigger lines and you can actually make sharper line details, all without having to using the wooden part, worrying about the wooden part. It might break, but depending on the grade that you are using, if it's HB, usually it's tougher than the 4B or 6B, but in most time you don't have to use it all the way like this. You can say I can use it like this, and then I can start shading if I want. Now, I would recommend getting a clutch pencil to replace your wooden pencil, but if you are looking for darker values and you want to make better values, you should use a mechanical pencil. Mechanical pencil, the good thing with mechanical pencil is the amount of spare leads you get for your mechanical pencil. It comes from HB, 2B, let me see, HB, 2B, and 4B. Those amount are really dark for the number it's shown, for the letter it shows here. Sometimes the HB on a mechanical pencil equals a 2B on a wooden pencil. And that's good because you can control the amount of value you want to get. And as you go higher and higher, the grades shown here would actually give you darker value to the actual number for the wooden pencil. The only issue with mechanical pencil in that regard, maintenance. If the lead inside was broken, you need to know how to clean the inside. If you are using it by correctly and you pressed hard, for example, you could damage it sometimes if it's not safe in the store. And also, you need to pay a little bit premium for those kind of pencil. Yet, if you stick with the mechanical pencil all the way for your drawing, I would say it's really well worth it, and it will not bother you with buying more wooden pencil, unless you prefer to use it together, which would what I would talk to you about it. Okay, so how would I use both tools? How would I use both the mechanical pencil and the 6B pencil, or the wooden pencil in this regard? Usually the wooden pencil are lighter when you are holding it, and thus while you are sketching, your hand will not press hard on the paper as usual. Whereas if I get a mechanical pencil, let's say from the store or something heavier than this one, my line would simply be darker and darker, even if I am not pressing hard on the tip like this. Even now I'm going way back and on the top. As you can see, it's still dark. This is a 4B pencil. Okay, let's go to an HB, for example. Let's see if that would also apply. Now I'm pressing it lightly. Now this is where control comes in. Yes, I like to make lighter mark on my mechanical pencil, But if I can achieve that with a longer lead point like this, I would be fine with that. So I could theoretically use both in that scenario, where the mechanical pencil, if it's too small, it will not help me to get shading better. I could also rely on a clutch pencil, which is in between those two, because you can sharpen the tip or just using it until become blunt. And I would get the let's say the middle value between those two, and I can use HB or 2B as well over here, and it will be similar to the wooden pencil for this one. Now when I finish doing my initial sketches, for example, I need to make it darker, so I can go back to my mechanical pencil and make it darker because it's already laid for me by the wooden pencil. And that's how it worked for me. I could easily use both pencils for that regard, and I would not waste any amount of lead inside the pencil for that regard. Though I would say later in my drawing sketching days lately, I have been doing it with a 0.9 mechanical pencil, and I would draw on the side of it, and it'll still give me a lot of shading opportunity. Usually I would work on an A5 or an A4 sketch, and this size 0.9 is suitable for that option. So go forward, go for a wooden pencil and a mechanical pencil, and you will not feel limited to your drawing needs. And if you think that this video helped you, let me know, and hopefully I will make more detailed comprehensive videos about the mechanical pencil I'm using and the wooden pencil that I am also currently using. Thank you so much. Have a nice evening.